of having the Friday vibe all day. Thanks, well, that's good to be on track now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. Well, we are sitting here with two wonderful musicians. Everybody knows Alane J. If you are an avid listener of the station, how's it going, Alane?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I like
Good
it.
to be back. Thank you.
Good to have you guys.
Great to have you back. It's always nice to have you. And then you brought a wonderful guest with you, Greg. And I want to say this right, Jacyszyn.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, I did
Bravo.
it.
Yeah, we were
It's almost
terrified
like a
of that last
sneeze.
name.
Yes.
I'm going to try to do that next time.
Well, I played Alane yesterday, and I almost attempted it, but I looked at it again, and I was like, I'm going to butcher that. So I'll wait until I know the exact pronunciation.
Better just not say it.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and this is a special occasion too, because this is our first live stream, video and audio through our social media when there are live guitars in the studio. So this is great.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
I'm glad I took a
that
shower.
So let's start, Alane. What you been up to? How you been?
I've been pretty good. Yeah, it's been several months since I've been here last. Last time I was here with Scotty, my buddy.
Yeah.
We're pals for sure, forever.
He's a great
we are
guy.
now
Yeah,
too.
he's a great guy.
Scotty's great.
And yeah, I've just been doing a lot of songs. Been doing a lot of collabs. I think I've mentioned, you guys kind of got me started on the collab.
Yeah,
Train.
and actually, Scotty was very big. He kind of started that whole thing to reach out to artists and say, "Hey, let's collaborate."
He did.
Was absolutely awesome. And then we also had you in for "Sing Me a Story," which was
Yes.
amazing. For the listeners, if you didn't know this, "Sing Me a Story" is a nonprofit that teams up with Children's Hospital, and sick kids actually write a story, and a musician takes that story and puts it into a song.
Yeah, that was an awesome experience. That was with Ms. Vendetta. And Ryan and I were here talking about that last time. And yeah, I mean, talk about a heart wrencher, to just go into that environment and play a song that you've written for, in this case, a little girl named Avery, and just see them there just loving it. It was a great experience. And they do, you can look them up because they are always looking for people to write songs. So you can just go out to their website and they have the songs written, or the stories basically, and you can choose them and you just write a song.
So they essentially write the lyrics for the most
Kind
part,
of,
or
yeah.
the
I mean,
idea
yeah,
behind it?
it's kind of both, right? You can do one of the other. Some of the songs that people wrote, it was more of the idea of the story. Ryan was a go-getter. She used almost all the words of the story. I mean, I was impressed by what she did. And
And she it was something like she loved Joan Jett. Was that it? Mm-hmm.
she loved Joan Jett, and then they reached out to us because they knew that we were a rock band and that we kind of fit that vibe. And so, yeah, that's what the song was. It was more kind of Joan Jett-ish.
It was such an awesome interview, and yeah, we had her on the screen too. And this was before we had video,
Right.
But yeah, it was just great.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was wonderful.
Yeah.
And Greg, how are you been? This is welcome to K4C
Oh,
Yes.
Radio.
I'm so excited to
Fresh
be down
meat.
here. Yeah.
K4C.
Fresh meat.
Greg, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been playing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the two of us have been playing forever. I mean, 7 years old, I think I got the first guitar, but I was, playing since then and singing since then. And the two of us just.
Let's back up
it's-
real quick, because Alane J, you, I have a little bio on you. You started at a pretty young age, like you said, 7 or 8.
That's when I started playing drums.
Drums. And what brought you to the drum kit?
My story is
She had gone through the saxophone and the clarinet already.
Well, no, but the reason why I really wanted to play drums was the place where we had my mom took us to be babysat. The son of the lady that babysat us played drums, and he had his kit set up in the basement. And I'd always go over the door and I'd listen to him, and I'm like, oh man, what is down there?
What's going
And,
on?
yeah, and I'd go creeping down there and I'd look around the corner, just down the steps and just watch him play. And from that point, I was like, I want to do that. I want to play drums. And I was a couple years later, but still, that's kind of what got me down the trail.
Okay. And then when did you pick up guitar?
When did I pick up guitar?
Was it when you
Yeah,
two
it was-
started
No,
playing in a
I
band
didn't-
together? Or?
No, it was probably I don't know.
A decade ago.
Yeah,
Oh, so not
maybe a little bit longer.
And she'd
but-
always go, I suck. You know, like that sort of thing. And it's a hard thing to pick up because your fingers take a beating
Of course.
for so
Oh,
long.
they do.
But then
yeah.
you finally tip that corner. But yeah, I mean, she's been playing on and off. But these last number of years, she's been playing a bunch.
Yeah,
And
that's
I think
how I
that-
write a lot of my songs. Really, is
Okay, I was gonna ask you
I
that,
come up
too.
with it. You know, I'm like, you know, and I kind of figure out where the chord is.
And I think that's a really smart idea, like learning the drums first and then going to the guitar. I did guitar. I can play 2 beats on the drums. That's it.
Okay.
Like my hands and feet cannot move independently. So
It's really easy to get excited and want to do more than what you can at first. You know, my thing is, if you want to try, you got to be slow. And it's the same thing for anything, right? Sometimes we get anxious and we're like, I just want to.
especially drums, you want to beat the
With
heck out of it.
drums, exactly. And it can
yeah.
be really hard to hold back. But if you just really concentrate first, okay, get this going, then get this going, then get this going. And then that's it. Don't
Right.
try to do anything fancy.
Right, exactly.
I have faith in you, Josh. I know you can.
You can do it.
Maybe I'll try it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, our vice president of media, Sarah, she's picking up the drums because our vice president, Robbie, he was a studio drummer in LA in the 70s. So she's like, teach me. And she's played a little bit. So we'll see.
I did
I've
not know
got a
that.
friend who I went to high school
Forgot
with
about that.
who's my age who took it up. Nick took it up in, like a couple of years ago. And he's been jumping into bands and playing, and he loves it. Yeah. You're never too old to start a new instrument.
You aren't.
You just have
And
to
music's special because it can just really open up some other doors for you. You know, it's that creative aspect. And
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's infinite.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
one of the things I love about it.
Yeah.
So you two started as a 2-piece. What age were you at that point?
yeah,
probably that age.
That age
And
at 8.
interesting because as she was talking about the drummer, you know, who the babysitter. It was for me. It was Mark West, and I cannot remember his friend's name.
No, just some other people. In the
Friend of
neighborhood.
ours who played guitar. He was great, and we would go camping with him a ton. And so he would always pull his guitar out during the fire, right, sitting around the fire or whatever, and it would be like, Greg, you gonna go get your guitar? And be all shy about it. But every once in a while, he and his friend, who I, again, drawn a blank on his name, he had a full drum kit, and the two of them would just play. It was like the White Stripes back.
Yeah.
Right.
Before the
We
White
were the
Stripes.
White Stripes way back when as well, and congratulations to the White Stripes for being
Yeah,
as
but
successful
that
as
that
they
is
are.
what we did. It was
Yeah.
just drums and guitar, and he sang and I sang. You know, we did some Kenny Rogers.
I'm not sure if it was the 6th grade talent contest
right.
that she came in. The two of us played that, and we played The Gambler, I think.
My sister and I were trying to strangle each other at that age.
Yeah.
We weren't doing anything creative together.
No.
So
Mine
that's
too.
pretty impressive. That's a pretty
Oh, it's been
solid.
a long
journey.
together.
Yeah.
And then a separation, right? I mean, where after a while you're like, I think I want to try something different. And she did the same thing. And then she actually moved out of state for like a decade.
Right.
And then when she came back, this is,
Yeah, I
it's
was
been-
going to ask that. Was it Georgia you moved
Yeah,
off to?
yeah, I
What
was
was
in
the
Georgia
what was the tie to Georgia?
It was a job.
work.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just an opportunity to go down there, and I'm thinking, oh, Coke is down there. You know, that's all I knew at that time.
Coca-Cola.
I had never,
Let's be clear.
yeah, I had never
Coca-Cola.
lived anywhere else, and I'm like, that is so cool to go down there where the Coca-Cola thing is.
Yeah, exactly.
I had no idea what I was in for.
And you found a band in
I
Georgia?
did. I didn't play for a couple years, you know, because I was trying to kind of get my bearings. But then, yeah, I played in a couple different bands. I played in a couple 3-pieces. You know, it was early days at Click Track, actually.
Of
We
course.
had, through our keyboard, you know, we had some of the other instruments, and I had the in-ears, and we played Click Track, and that was like, I don't know, early 2000s probably.
And
when
what kind of
we were
music
doing
were
that.
you playing?
It was mostly rock stuff,
Covers?
top 40
Yeah.
covers, rock, and then we did do some writing as well. And actually, Little Darlin', I had them record it with me because I had written it. I was playing with them at the time, and I was like, "Hey guys, you know, I've got this song that I wrote for my dad," and they kind of helped me, you know, figure out how to play it. And we ended up kind of just doing a little recording of it, and that was my only recording that I had of it, so that later on I could come back and re-record it.
Rebirth it. Yeah.
It was the very tail end of her Georgia tenure that our dad got sick and
Right.
then passed away right at the very end, just before she moved back.
Yeah, I was traveling back and forth a bunch, and yeah, just any time I could, I came back to visit him. You know, I think, Josh, we talked about it before, you know, with Little Darlin', how it kind of touched you because you'd recently lost
Yeah.
your dad, and it's
Yeah.
like, ooh, it's a hard thing when you lose a parent, and being that far away, it was very hard, But every chance I had, I came back, and then when he passed away, for whatever reason, I just came up with the chorus, "Don't cry, my little darling," and then and at that time I was playing guitar, so I was able to at least kind of figure it out, but I had the guys help me to record it. So
And is that something your father told to you?
it
Don't cry,
wasn't
little-
actually, which is funny. When I was in an all-girl band, when I lived here, it was called Crazy Miss Daisy, and we had a song called Daddy's Little Girl. We barely started playing that, and I thought of that, and I was like, yeah, I'd kind of like to write something. And Little Darling just came to me. He never said any of this to me, but.
Well, it's an incredible song. It is a touching song.
Very, very.
We love having it in our rotation.
Yeah, I'm appreciative for you guys playing it.
Of course.
It was one of those songs where it was just like right when you heard it, it's like, yeah, this is going in. So because all of us listen to it and everything.
That's cool.
That and the one with Danny Alcade. That's
Yeah,
that's
the Wake
rocker.
Up?
That's a great rocker.
Yes.
That is.
Yeah, that one's fun. And both Danny and Karina in Ms. Vendetta, they played on the recordings for Little Darling and Wake Up. Danny's the one that wrote the riff for Wake Up.
Yeah.
And I think I told you guys before, we were going to use it with Ms. Vendetta. Then we kind of couldn't figure anything out. And I told her, I was like, I all of a sudden had this dream. And I had this dream, and I had figured out the entire song in my dream. And I was like, I got to, record it and let you listen to it and tell me if I can use it, And yeah.
Yeah, it's a hooky riff, too. Mm-hmm. So, Greg, what kind of projects were you involved in outside of
a whole
Alane?
a whole lot. So I went the gamut and I was all in on original music, right? That was really when we split, right? It was, I was like, I got to make something happen, try something different. I started playing with a bunch of guys in a band called Intense, and it was a number of years, 4 or 5 years, and a lot of debt.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, just as it was right on the start of where grunge was starting to hit, and so everything we were playing was more melodic rock, heavier melodic rock, trying to dig into something, and then it just couldn't find any traction.
Have you always loved guitar? Like,
I always, yeah.
Okay.
And I've always aspired to be a fantastic guitarist, and I continue to aspire
You have to.
to hope that someday I will find that extra little twist. But
So
yeah.
when you're writing a song, what's your process? Is it
It's
lyrics
interesting.
first, guitar
Yeah.
first,
Yeah,
melody first?
it's a little bit all over the place. It's one of the But yeah, I mean,
especially
it's
now with the
back and forth.
recorders on your phone, that's what I use all the time. And then you listen to it again, and it's just like, oh no, yeah. But you're
no, I
never
had one of
supposed to
those-
delete anything.
Exactly. I had one of those little mini cassette tape things.
Oh, yeah.
Tiny
I remember
ones,
those,
and I
too.
filled those up. I'd be at work, I'd be walking, I'd do some stuff like that. But for me, yeah, it usually starts with.
Greg, I thought we
gotta be
said to
kidding
turn
me.
that off.
That's
They've come for you. Who's it? It's not mine.
I don't know.
Is that mine? That's mine.
That's yours?
Yep, I see mine up there.
And you just called your brother out.
I know. Seriously? Yeah,
it's
and
for.
it's
You'll be
an
able to shut that
alarm,
off?
so we need to shut it off. So, yeah. Kev, can you just take the phone out of there, and we'll have to just undo it.
But yeah,
That's Alane faux pas setting up and leaving an alarm on.
I love
But
it.
yeah, your question about just writing, I mean, it started off with a lot of times for me, it would be, I'd have a little vocal riff. Sometimes I would find a guitar riff that it would just kind of light up, but usually it would start with an idea, a vocal idea.
Right.
It's always been a cathartic sort of thing for me. It's always some sort of emotional release that I need to get out. I so dearly want my kids to dive into music as much as I have, right? They've been sports heads and they are all very gifted singers, and I'm just like, oh,
Right.
more for anything than just the emotional like stability that it gave me to be able to release a lot of the angst
Well,
you
and
have, or grief.
I agree with you
happiness.
too. Yeah, I've always said that music is cheaper than therapy.
Yeah.
And in my mind, a lot better. I mean, yeah.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
a lot of times when you can't express anything, you pick up that guitar. Or,
Yeah, exactly.
in your case, grab some drumsticks. And exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, but after that, I mean, I went the route of, I actually did a wedding band thing for a lot of years. The
Wedding
Met
Singer.
some amazing musicians right at the time the Wedding Singer came out. Nice. So it was brutal to go to my high school reunion. But then a lot of studio stuff. That led to a lot of studio things where I was working with people and doing, like for 850 KOA, they would do Bronco songs and things like that. I had a friend who did that, and nationwide had all these stations who did that.
Nice.
And then it led to a couple other gentlemen who I worked with who were, they did similar like radio bumper music, bumper comedy, parodies.
Like little jingle stuff.
A lot of parody stuff. I did a handful of jingles, maybe 20, 30 jingles, some that are in town still playing.
Nice.
Very cool.
Duct Works.
Yeah, that's your big hit.
But
I've heard of Ductworks. I'll pay attention next time.
Yeah, you'll have to. You'll
but yeah,
recognize
just
the voice.
it was interesting because at the same time I ended up going back to school and got a degree in engineering, audio engineering,
Oh, nice.
and had a vocal as a minor, and it's just been that, and then just trying to find bands to play in, and lately it's been cover bands, and the one band I've been with now for almost 10 years is called The Last Men on Earth, LMOE.
And do you guys record at studio, or do you do a lot of self-recording yourself and mixing?
That band is strictly just a cover band, and so
don't
I've
record.
been incredibly jealous of my sister and her drive. Again, as I kind of mentioned before we started talking online here, I've got a family. I have 3 kids, a wife, a full-time job. You're chasing kids all the time. You're chasing life.
Yeah.
And it's you have to prioritize music, and it can be a challenge at times. And so I've been on a writing drought for quite some time. I've popped a couple things out, but it's been quiet.
But that's why this is cool.
Yeah.
That we can at least do a couple of these things together.
Right. Love it.
Well, let's do one.
Yeah,
do you
exactly. Let's get to it.
We were talking about Little Darlin' just a little earlier, so
Yeah, that's the one we're going to start with.
Yeah. All right.
whenever you're ready.
Greg will start.
Okay.
Little girl with tears in my eyes. Daddy picked me up, held me close, and told me not to cry. Didn't know then how to there are ups and downs to life. Just keep pushing on, he has a plan, it'll be alright. Time and time again, never left my side. Always there with a smile, a laugh, and a word for the wise. A lucky can a little girl be filled with love and tender care? Is it all over? Is it hope for me out there? He said to me, don't cry, my little darling. See you again real soon. Till then I must fly away. Always keep my eyes on you. We knew this day would come when we would be apart. Oh, don't cry, my little darling. Little darling, don't you cry.
Days and months went by, it seems like only yesterday. Held each other close and watched him fly away. Memories fill my mind, Lord, don't let them fade. Knowing my heart will be together again someday. He said to us, don't cry, my little darling. See you again real soon. Till then I must fly away. I always keep my eye on you. We knew this day would come, when we would be apart. Don't cry, my little darling. Little darling, don't you cry.
He said to us, don't cry, my little darling. I'll see you again real soon. Till then I must fly away. I always keep my eyes on you. Oh, we knew this day would come. We would be apart. Oh, don't cry, my little darling. Little darling, don't you cry. You're in my heart always. Baby, don't you cry. You're in my heart always. Baby, don't you cry. It's time to fly away, my little darling. It's time to fly away, my little darling.
Absolutely awesome.
I was close to shedding a tear when you looked at me, Josh.
Should have talked about the
got
story
me.
before you
Yeah,
played the
you-
song.
Yeah, you got me. I was like, oh man, I got to recover.
Alane J and Greg J in the studio with us. Jacyszyn is the last name, right?
Yes.
All
yes.
right. Glad you dumbed that down for me.
Exactly.
Your harmonies really opened that up. You guys sound great together.
You guys sound amazing together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Absolutely.
You mentioned earlier you're detuned.
I did on this song. Yeah.
Okay. How often do you do that?
I used to a lot,
Yeah.
actually, for whatever reason. Probably just because I always was playing the easy chords, and then you can do an easy, bar chord type of thing.
And explain that detuning for anyone in the audience that doesn't know, isn't
Greg.
familiar. Is that a
It's
great
literally, it's just the
question?
Just that bottom string.
just the bottom string, the low E.
Oh, that you tuned down. Okay. it's
Drop
not
it
that.
to a
Yep.
D, and then when you play a D, then you have this, instead of that being there, it's
Yeah, it just gives it a fuller sound when you have that low D with the high,
Adds that nice bass too
It
with
does.
the acoustic too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys can hear that song definitely in our rotation. We absolutely love it. Again, right when we got it, we're just like, yeah, that one's easy. that's it.
It's a cool one because it does, kind of tell a story. I mean, the interesting thing about the recording when I decided to do it and the way that I had written it, the first part of the first verse is really about me, as a little girl and stuff. And then the second verse is really about all of us as a family and when we were there with him when he was not doing well. And kind of talks about that. And when I was recording it, I thought that would be really cool to have him sing that part and then we kind of come in together.
Right.
So, I mean, it kind of worked out really cool with the verses that way.
Yeah.
That it did.
It's very well put together.
Well, and we've, as far as the harmonies, that's definitely one of those things as we were riding in cars, because we did take a lot of road trips in our RV, right? We'd have them jumping in there, and you've got the little card things, and you're like, what license plate was that?
Yeah,
there
for
were
all you
100 license
youngsters out
plates
there,
in
you need to
every
look that
state.
up
Yeah,
because
exactly.
that was a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
But just being able to sing together and always harmonize, it was something that it almost became it was almost a game. Just because
yeah.
we'd be listening to a pop song or whatever it may be, and then I'd drop down, she'd go up, I'd move around. I mean, it was always that sort of thing. It became very organic.
It's kind of natural.
I don't
to
even
see
know
that.
how. Desperately would love to teach a couple people, including my kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always been kind of like that. So.
Yeah, singing harmonies is fairly easy, I think, for both of us, right? Like we can just, if somebody comes on your part, then I can easily jump to something else. That's not something that everybody can do, and I guess I never really appreciated it until later.
Yeah.
The fact that I could do it, but probably all the practice that we did with that made
Right.
a
Yeah.
difference. I'm sure.
And that's a
Well,
good point because, a lot of harmonies you're just. I mean, that's impressive in case, even if somebody drops out,
Yeah.
like live on stage or something, you can just kind of.
Totally. Well, and then for me,
Fill
I
it in.
mean, all the studio stuff that I did, and all of it, all the parody stuff, everything, you're copying exactly what's out there. So you have to be able to find it.
Right.
And so we did a lot of that, and it became very easy. And then you're able to do it 1 and 2 takes instead of really having to study it, break it into parts, and try to put it on an instrument, keyboard, or so. Here's where it starts, and it stays a third, but that moves. No, it's
Yeah, that's
becomes
what,
just like, I'll just sing this. Is that? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that'll work.
That
Yeah,
works.
and
That's it.
sometimes if you're, if you don't know harmonies well enough, then the engineer will kind of make it up for you. It's like, okay, here's where it starts, here's where you're going to sing. But yeah, usually we can just go in the studio and go, okay, la, la, la.
Yeah.
I've always been very fascinated with harmonies. I was a choir kid.
Me too.
Nice. All right.
Jazz
I like
choir
it.
as well.
Nice. Very nice.
Choir boys.
So yeah, choir boys, and then just growing up and listening to, I think, one of the all-time greatest harmony, Beach Boys. There's so many songs I try to sing along to the Beach Boys, and I just can't throughout the whole song. Like, I'm good there, and then they switch it up. I'm like, darn it.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Foiled again.
Exactly.
Yeah, that range is ridiculous.
It is.
It is.
So starting at such a young age, was mom and dad musical at all? Was there
We
any
did not know
influence?
they were. We did not know they were.
They were holding
but
out on
They
you?
were. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. But if there are any parents who have musical children and who sit there while their kids are banging away at drums or butchering a guitar or blowing a trumpet or whatever
right.
it may be, love that moment
God
as a
bless.
parent.
God bless those
Love
parents.
that.
Right.
So God bless them. But it also, I mean, and the kids as you grow up, God bless your parents.
Yeah.
Definitely. They would sit there. We'd practice in the basement with a full band down there, and it was not quiet. And they'd sit upstairs and just listen every time. It's not like they'd go, "Yeah, all right, we're going to leave the house while you do this."
Or time to cut it
Because
off?
you guys are just starting, and maybe polish it up a little bit.
Right.
We'll listen to it in a couple of years.
Yeah, so it was fantastic. I mean, that sort of.
We were very fortunate.
But yeah, they were holding out on us. I didn't realize my mom played an instrument until we found one that was like a violin
was
sitting
in her
somewhere. We're
closet.
like, "What the? You play?"
Wow.
Yeah, I played the violin.
Yeah.
That's
And then
when
they
you
both
say, "So
could
you want to
sing.
play with us?"
They
Yeah.
both could sing. It was just, but it wasn't something that they
Yeah.
specialized in. I don't
Right,
know.
we
They didn't
didn't
showcase
know.
it. It was
Yeah.
not a. We weren't the. I was gonna say Partridge Family, but it's that Partridge Family.
Yeah.
There's an old one right there. I love it. Partridge Family.
Yeah, we're showing our age on a lot of things.
I'm with you there too. So yeah. And so you guys, how long have you guys been collaborating? How many songs have you guys done together?
Oh boy.
If you can even
Not as
count
many
that.
as we should have. I mean, honestly, when we were in a band together, a lot. We did a lot of writing, and then when we both went into our kind of our own original bands at that time, we weren't writing anything together.
Right.
Yeah, it's only recently,
Yeah.
that I decided to re-record these because, the next song that we're going to do, Here I Am, is actually one that we did write way back in the probably late 80s, early 90s, that we used to just play. He'd play guitar and I'd sing, and we'd just go out into the front. It was like part of our set. We'd go out in the front and just stand and sing it, and people loved it. And that was one of the ones early on that we wrote that all of a sudden I magically came up with a harmony, and I was like, hey, I can
love those
actually
moments.
harmonize.
Yeah, I love those moments where it's just, it works here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. And that
So
was,
that's why we're trying to do, I've got a couple other songs that we're trying to finish together. I think last time I was here, I mentioned I'm kind of doing a thing called My Music Journey, right? Where I'm trying to record all these different things. So I've got my faith-based songs. I've got some of these songs that we wrote a long time ago that we're recording, and then some new ones. And so we have a couple new ones that we're trying to finish.
Oh, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, and it's been, for me, right, I said I was in school, so I was in a songwriting class, wrote a bunch of stuff then, but it was all assigned sort of thing.
Yeah,
But then
what do they teach you in a songwriting
It
class?
was actually is a great class. A lot about form, right? Different forms,
Structure.
and a lot about the fact that songwriting. If you're going to be a songwriter and you want to make money, you want to make a living in it or at it, you have to do everything, right?
Well, and it's one of those things you do, I think, kind of, and that's why a lot of times people just listen to so many different songs, so many different artists, and they kind of get that structure. And then once you kind of get that structure down, then you can just kind of break out of
I was
it.
going to say, then you can stray from it. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. So for me, it was good. It reaffirmed a lot of the things I think we already know as musicians, right? That you probably follow, but it was a challenge to do that. And then of course, I wrote a song or two when my dad passed. I wrote songs for all my kids that I haven't finished
Yeah.
because the lyrics keep changing.
There you go. Good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's then it was quiet, and I'm very thankful for my sister. For her what she's experiencing right now, because this is I think every musician should go through something like this where you go all in on yourself. I did it when I was young. I should have continued doing it, and it's great to see her do this. She's re-experiencing a lot of the things that she had done before, but meeting brand new people like you, wonderful people, right? These experiences are amazing. And the songwriting she's been doing has been it's been like a rocket ship, right? In terms of from here to there to, you guys have heard what she's done now. It's amazing. She comes to me and says, what do you think of this? And I'm very picky. But I also, God bless her, she'll listen to me pick things apart, but it's like when you're showing when you watch I don't know if you guys have kids or not, but if you watch your kids play sports and they get off and you're like, you were awesome, but remember, you can make this overlapping run and you can do this, and you don't want to criticize but sometimes there's so little to criticize. You just want them to continue to grow. Right. And for her, it's been, I just keep going, don't really listen to me because you're blowing everything I've done away. But if I'm going to be picky about a vocal, it'll be don't stay on this or lose the vibrato here or cut this off, or just from studio stuff.
Right, just minor details.
Minor details.
Right.
If that's all it comes to at this point. It's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun with the collaborations, I'll say, because, like with Scotty, and I think you asked the question, you were like, okay, Scotty and Alane, okay, what are we going to get here? And it was a challenge to just kind of think of something that would fit both of us. And I've done the same things with some other people that I've collabed. I collabed on a prog rock song, so it was like Dream Theater type of thing, time signatures.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was mega challenge, because it's like, how do I sing over this? And so I studied some of that. And then I did a rap song that was where I sang the chorus.
You did a rap song. Wow.
Yeah. And
You're all over the place.
yeah, I know. And just recently, I'm starting a country song, aren't I, Greg?
Yes, and it's
it
a
is
hook and a half.
catchy.
I can hear that.
It is a hook and a half, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been really fun doing that, It's just like, I don't know. All of a sudden, it's like a little kid in a candy store. Oh my gosh, what's over here? Let's do over here. And I'm just having fun with it. For me, I had a breast cancer scare, and so I think that's really what jettisoned me, because it's like, ooh, this whole thing could come to an end like real quick. And why am I not doing something that I love? Because at the time I wasn't really playing a lot.
Right.
I had just kind of started to get back into everything. And then when that happened, it's like, okay, I got to rethink everything. And that started me, okay, I'm playing drums again, because I hadn't played drums in a long time. And after that, I was like, okay,
Which
I'm
was
gonna
a travesty.
play drums. Yeah. I'm going to play drums again. I'm going to start singing again. I'm going to write again. So, people, if you're listening, do not let some major scare tell you to start something.
And what's funny is a lot of times that's when it happens. You don't think about it before some just altering time where you're just like, okay, I got to be happy. I got to start doing something.
Exactly.
Where
and
inspiration strikes.
I think you mentioned that was the same thing for you.
It was.
Starting the station.
It was, yeah. I did not like my job at all. Didn't like it. And my father passed away, and I was just like going through a lot. And I'm just like, I need to be happy in life. And great friends around me, and it's just like, you can do it. Let's do it. And kind of lit the fire under my butt too, including this guy sitting right across here. A station manager, and it was great.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah, that's amazing.
I remember when he brought it up, he said, what do you think about starting a radio station? And I said, I'm in. And his eyes just went, boom.
I was expecting
I was just going to. No,
cool.
I was on board.
Yeah.
And
really cool.
Jump back to Miss Vendetta. That's still a band. You're still active, and you play drums.
We're still playing in
with
that.
Miss Vendetta?
Yeah, in
Okay.
fact, we have an event coming up. You guys had Buck last week.
Yeah.
And our band's actually playing with them
Oh,
at the
very
event
nice.
for
Sweet.
Flutterby at the Armory.
Okay, you are playing that one then. Good.
Yeah, March 1st. Tickets are only $25. It benefits the Robert Lambert Foundation.
Yeah, it's a
which
really
is
good cause.
Really cool. It helps people, primarily kids, but adults also, that are going through grief. We've been talking about grief with little darling, with our parents passing away and stuff, and it's hard. It's a hard thing to go through, and to be able to have a foundation that supports people to get through that tough time is really cool. And so when they asked us to do it, we were super excited about it. So yeah, that's March 1st. We're going to be playing that. And then our other cool thing that we're doing, we're recording. So we will be sending in some songs soon.
Excellent.
We're also going to be opening for Gene Simmons
Get out.
at the Paramount.
Really?
April 11th.
Oh, that's
Wow.
And that was a really cool opportunity that came to us from Andy, who runs the Oriental Theater, and got to thank him. And it's nice that I have an opportunity to give him props, because he is a huge, huge supporter of local music.
Yeah, I've met Andy a
and
few times.
does a great job at the Oriental Theater. I love everything that he does, and he's always been in our corner. And yeah, he sent me a text one day. Hey, I'm gonna submit you guys to open for Gene Simmons. Is that okay? And I was like, what?
Yeah, I grew up on Kiss.
Oh,
Me
me
too.
too. Yeah, Peter Criss all the way.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
So,
We
yeah,
did
So
that'll be
you're going
Kiss
to get to meet
concerts.
Gene Simmons. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
We
Yeah.
did Kiss concerts in backyards. I was not allowed to be in the band. It was not fair. I was too young.
He was
they
too
would not
young.
let me be Ace.
right.
But it
Had
was
to be
okay.
Ace.
Those crazy
so
people
funny.
all painted up.
It's so crazy, though. Yeah, I mean, they get a lot of flack. I mean, it's not really in their... They do have a lot of good songs, but people are either a Kiss fan or not.
Totally.
Right.
That's it.
And with Kiss, it's so much of it is about the show.
That's
You
it.
know?
That's
what
it.
it was.
It. Yeah.
That's what they planned to
Totally.
do, and they did it for, gosh, how many years? Almost 50.
Yeah, I was curious to see what they were going to come up with on this Avatar thing.
If they can just hang... Just,
You know
Yeah,
what? Just
just
Yeah,
right
that's
into the
enough.
sunset.
Yeah.
exactly.
So you're going to play another song.
We are.
And Here I Am. Tell our listeners a little bit about Here I Am. What is that song about? What is that for you?
Yeah, Greg's the one that started.
yeah, I mean, we were
Okay.
What?
We were
17, 18. Well, probably 18. We were started playing in bar bands when I was 19. So it was probably a year before that we were kind of plucking around with stuff. So around that age. And so we talked about how do you come up with songs, that sort
Right.
of thing. You know, I had played around with, and I don't know, we'll see if this is in tune or
Let
not.
me, yep.
I'll turn it up here because I was out all the way. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I was quiet tuning in the back. Hopefully it wasn't all.
I didn't even
While you
notice
were
it.
talking.
I didn't even notice.
So, Greg, continue. How did you come up with
So,
it? You came up with something on the guitar first?
Yeah,
or
it was just on
like-
guitar, honestly. And I think I told you guys about the ridiculous stretch that I had in this. It was a six fret stretch
Kind of overdoing
that I
it.
could, that I could do on an electric guitar. But
Back when you're
nothing
like,
else.
I can do this.
I
This
could
is
totally
easy,
do this.
especially, yeah.
But it became a song that we put together. It was super short. There's not a lot to the song, but it was so interesting to see if you write a song and any one person goes, I love that. It is amazing. And when you have people who come and we were in a bar band, right? I mean, people want to dance, whatever. We would start to play that song, and there'd be people who would just come and stand there 5 feet from you, 3 feet from you, and watch you play and sing this song. It was kind of choke you up. It was really special. It's still been special. We still have friends from back then who I had a gentleman actually who we were at we were playing a show for one of the cities in Thornton, and one of the guys who I've known for a while came up and he and his son started singing the song to me. I mean, I couldn't even remember the words, right? I felt foolish, but it was amazing to see that come out. And this song really just came from that. It was, I don't know if it was I know there was one girl who thought I wrote it about her, but I didn't. It was just kind of in the same.
Yeah, I always
Time
thought it was
frame.
about a particular girl, but
No, it wasn't.
oh, okay.
Didn't lie to her, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby, it's all about you.
Right.
You know?
That was a short romance anyway. It didn't equate to a song.
Didn't
Right,
warrant
okay.
a whole song about it.
More.
But there may have been a spark, maybe a line in there with something, but that was about it. But it's.
Tell you one thing, what a amazing thing when other people are singing your song.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, really? You like the song so much that you know it and are singing it. Yeah.
Especially after years. I mean, because we played this, say 1990, and to have somebody, 2024 come up and say, "Here I," what? How do you even know
Yeah.
that? That's
Right.
crazy.
That's awesome.
And ask at that time, this is before you had released it and before you had done the recording, he was like, can I get a copy? Do you still have a copy of
Right.
that somewhere? I'm like, I do, but I mean, it's ancient. And we had recorded that song in a tiny little studio, and it was pushed onto cassette tape.
Right, reel to reel.
Somewhere
Yeah.
there's a 2-inch tape of it, but yeah, I mean, way too much reverb, right?
Of course.
Yeah, when you're starting out, it's just like, kick up that reverb.
Yeah.
all the
Totally.
way. Yeah. Then later on, you're just like, oh, okay, maybe not.
Yeah, that didn't sound as good as we thought.
Well, I definitely cannot wait to hear this acoustic. Here I am. So whenever
Make
you
sure
guys
that
are
I'm
ready,
All right.
take it away.
I want you to play it up. Get that in time. And then,
What's that?
Get that tuned up.
Ready?
Go ahead. Get that E there.
Yep.
There you go.
There we go.
Play,
Okay.
play an open A for me. We're good. All right.
Sorry, minor difficulty. We're high maintenance
No,
here.
tuning is one of my favorite songs. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you started with that.
All right. What are the memories that make you sigh? That bring the pain, that touch your smile, relieve the pressures from the world's petty games. You are the reason my world is lost. My own emotion cannot go on. I hate to leave you, but my heart don't feel the same. So here I am, world has come and gone, and the time is still the same, but here I stay, without a clue in my heart about what you want from me. I turned away for another tear. I just can't handle when you're not here. I know forever I will be here just the same. I just don't know what you need from me. All your emotions come effortlessly. My only feeling is still here for me to hide. So here I am, when the world has come and gone, and the time is still the same, but here I stay, without a clue in my heart about what you want from me, what you want from me. Here I am, when the world has come and gone, and the time is still the same. I'll stay, without a clue in my heart about what you want from me. Here I am.
What you want from me?
Here I am.
Alane, Jay, and Greg Jacyszyn right there. Here I am. Wow. Awesome. I love your guys' harmonies. I really do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We were out of tune.
We were out of tune, and I was struggling to figure out. I was like,
Yeah.
our guitars were out of tune.
So difficult. So
What?
yeah, we were talking about tuning earlier. This one, to get over that stretch, I tuned 4 of the strings down a step, and then,
Gotcha.
and then capo it.
It still
And
works.
I think I'm good.
It could have been me.
I think it was that
There was
we all
something
floated
off on
somewhere.
mine. I didn't tune the whole
And
thing.
that's the problem with having a really good ear, is it's like it just digs into your brain while playing it.
Time.
But I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's
Of course, that's a really pretty
Definitely
song.
did. Very pretty.
So, what are we looking forward to? We mentioned the Armory show.
Yeah.
As far as and the Gene Simmons show.
Mm-hmm.
Other than big coming up this summer, this spring, any new recordings?
Yeah, I'm definitely doing some more
Releases.
recording. I have another really cool song that I redid from my all-girl band called Crazy Miss Daisy, and it's called Another Day. And I think it's actually my best song yet.
Is this the country song you're talking about?
No,
Or
this
the-
isn't the country
the-
song. This is
one
a rocker.
that you played with.
It's kind of a slow rocker, and it was our most popular song for that band that I wrote, and I had always wanted to redo it. And so, yeah, it turned out incredible. And it's partially because I've had some other people play on it. So what I decided to do with it was, because it was written a long time ago, I wanted to have people that I played with back then play on it. Not necessarily in the same band, because the girls don't play anymore, but so I got a friend of ours, his name's Chris Reedy, who played bass, and he played with us with Crazy Miss Daisy, on different gigs. And the guitarist, who is just incredible, James Rooster, he just did a phenomenal job. And I gotta hand it to him, because he really coached me through some things too. It's we were talking about theory earlier and kind of writing songs, and he was like, okay, right there, you don't want to go to that chord, you want to go to this chord. And so he just kind of helped me on some stuff, and it turned out incredible. I'll have to play it for you guys before we leave. Just the you can hear it on my phone. It's really cool. So I'm going to do a video for it and that kind of thing.
So when do we get it?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be released on the 20th of March.
Okay, so soon
We
enough.
can maybe work out some kind of early release
Ooh,
where
I
you guys
love you.
can
Yeah.
have it, like a week ahead of time or something. I would love to do that. Again, it's wait till you guys hear it. It's just the whole thing. It just turned out really great, better than I could have thought.
Yeah, this whole oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just say we would be absolutely honored. I think one of the coolest things is when bands like yourself, they reach out and are just like, yeah, I'm releasing this later, but I want you guys to have it and play it on your station first. So we get that quite a bit, and it's awesome.
Oh,
so
I would,
we would love that.
Well, I really appreciate it. I think you guys are gonna love it. It's a cool song. So that's mainly what's going on.
Yeah, this
there.
whole musical journey for her has been really cool because she has reached out, as she said, to people we used to play with, people we were in bands with, people who were in other bands at the same time. And being in a band is a family. It's a brotherhood. It's a sisterhood. It's,
Absolutely.
you can be in bad bands and it's miserable.
Yeah.
But if you're in a good band, it is something that, and the people that you can connect with again, they're like best friends, and you jump right back into those discussions and those personal jokes. And
Yeah, it makes it so much fun and inspirational.
Exactly,
It's a lot of
exactly.
fun.
Yeah, with bands, there's good and bad, right? Just like with any kind of relationship, I feel like even the bad can be good, just because of the things that can happen because of those bad things, it's a lesson for life, to be honest, that sometimes you think, oh, why am I going through all these heartaches and all these crazy things? But it always seems, if you really think back on it, it's like, but really I'm much better off for going through all that stuff.
Well, I don't think we really learn when things are great. I mean, the bad times, that's what we learn from. They're the most important and most poignant times where, when everything's great, what are you learning? I mean,
You're just taking advantage of it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, enjoy those times.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But we definitely, we learn the most through the hard times. And
Yes.
again, music, cheaper than therapy.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
And what
I'm in
Greg
need
said.
of some music therapy lately.
Yeah.
And as far as what Greg is saying, it sounds like you've got the bug again to do this and really get behind it.
Yeah,
and
we
dig your heels
definitely,
in.
we've been talking, we did a few acoustic duo gigs last year together, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to do a couple more of those this year and be able to play some of these originals, which is really fun. We'll
She
see.
pushes me a lot, which is good and necessary. Because the acoustic duo thing, I mentioned the White Stripes earlier,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I'm like, if I would have just gotten back with just the two of us, even when she was in Atlanta, right? I mean, even when she came back and we started playing again, it would have been. You think about the things you missed out on, right? But at the same time, this is the life that we lived, and this is the journey we're on. And I mean, I don't think either of us would change a thing. It's definitely, as she had said, I mean, take every day for everything it's worth. Don't leave anything on the table.
Yep, absolutely.
Any plans to go back to the guitar and drums duo? Or are we strictly guitars?
We've
Well,
actually
she's-
been talking about kind of doing more of a drum thing. I mean, there's a lot of bands that I've seen recently that there's even a girl drummer, and she's standing up playing. And I'm like, oh, that might be cool. A couple bands that I follow, they do that. And so we've been kind of
Yeah,
talking
not
about it.
necessarily all electric kits either. I mean, a lot of them are acoustic kits, but they're standing. That's pretty cool. I mean, there's some really neat stuff out there. And she was playing. What's it called again?
Well, the cajon, yeah.
The cajon, she started with that, and she added a couple other things, and I
So,
need
yeah,
to
we've
just
done
up
that,
my
but-
skill. My skill level still. Have you touched that guitar in a month? So
And then if you haven't, then next time she sees you, she gives you a nice
That's
smack.
exactly
you
it.
know? Yeah, exactly. Well, if you guys do play acoustic duo together, please let us know. If we're available, I'd love to come see you
love to
guys. I
have
mean,
you.
this is such a treat here to have people play in our studio. And Alane, you're all over the place. You're all over in the community, and you're just a great talent. We've always loved having you in. And Greg, thank you.
pleasure to meet you guys.
Yeah, me
definitely.
too.
Yeah,
You guys
all
have an incredible bond that I just
Yeah.
witnessed here in the last hour, and it's just really impressive. I'm going to call my
you.
sister tomorrow.
We are very, we're very blessed for sure.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
he's my best friend, and we're very fortunate that we can share music together.
Yeah, it's just been the two of us, but I mean, it's been always there. I'm blessed, and thanks to our parents. I mean, my mom's listening. She didn't quite know how to listen at first, and then we coached her just before we jumped on, so she's hopefully listening. And thank you, Mom. We
Yeah.
love you very much.
Yeah.
And thanks, Dad, up there. And it's you can't beat good family.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, Mom, you raised some incredible kids, so love it. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thanks
again,
for being
guys.
here, guys, and you're always welcome. I mean, now that we can do this live in the studio, I mean, come back with the new ones,
And
and
we'll be tuned next time.
I'm glad
That
you
was-
said it and not me.
hey, it happens.
That was my-
And I don't think it was painfully obvious. So
No.
I think it still sounded great.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you very much again for coming in, and definitely, don't be strangers. Let us know everything coming up, and really good luck at the Paramount.
Thank you.
And
Say hello to Gene for
say hello to
me.
Gene for us.
He's got a huge fan over here.
Say, Gene, have you heard K4CO before?
Exactly.
And just the best of luck with your journey this 2025.
Thanks.
so
Same
much.
to you
And
guys.
you guys, best of luck. Just all the success
Yes.
wished for you
Appreciate it.
guys.
Thank you very much. Well, we're going to return you back to our normal scheduled program right now. So thank you very much for tuning in. This was a live interview and live performance with Alane J. and Greg Jacyszyn. And thank you guys again very much. We absolutely
Thanks
loved
again.
it. You guys take care, and remember that all Colorado hours every single day from 7 to 8 p.m. And the rest of the time, our wonderful Colorado artists are mixed in. So thank you for listening to K4CO, and good night.